In this edition of Michigan Golf Scene, we are going to have an outstanding edition for you as we are at the Flint Golf Club as they have the Michigan PGA Championship happening, and we will talk to the winner of that tournament. We're also going to rewind a little bit and take you to the Tournament of Champions as we have both droned Boyne Mountain at the Alpine course. We also have the Flint Golf Club. We also have action from the Top 50 Golf Tour. We have LPGA action up at Midland Country Club and a lot more. I'm Roy J. Akers, and what an outstanding show that we have for you.
Unbeatable price, service, selection, and customer satisfaction?
That's the Gowling difference. Only at Gowling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Your Ram store.
During the spring sales event, lease a 2018 Ram 1500 Bighorn Quad Cab 4x4 starting at $199 a month employee, $259 friends and family. Or during the Ram Truck Month, lease a 2018 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4, just $239 employee, $289 friends and family. Get to Gowling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on Telegraph, north of Square Lake, just west of I-75 at exit 75.
Scott Brodebeck is very proud of what's happened out at the Flint Golf Club. They have renovated the 8th hole as Mike DeVries took a look at a Willie Park Master hole. He put it back to the original design. Scott tells us a lot more about that in this piece. One of the signature things that happened at the Flint Golf Club is they brought on legendary golf course architect Mike DeVries, who took an 8th green that kind of went downhill over the years as a combination of World War II, non-play, a couple superintendents that didn't keep it up to snuff, and what they did is they brought this hole back, and now it is a true treasure to play.
Well, Mike's one of the most well-renowned golf architects in the world, and he's one of his best courses that he's done is Kingsley up near the Traverse City area, and we brought him down here. He came out here and he fell in love with the golf course. He walked the entire golf course last fall before he looked at it. Even he never set foot on the property, and he walked this course and said, this is just a fantastic Willie Park Jr. design, and the green complexes, he has said, is that we've got some of the best green complexes in the state and in the country.
Mike DeVries took a look at this golf hole and saw that it was nondescript, and he did something about it.
So this is Flint Golf Club's 8th hole, and it's a Willie Park Jr. original design. It's 100 years old this weekend, and we restored this green last fall. So there's 2 bunkers in the back that were just grass hollows and had been that way for a number of years. So we restored those bunkers, brought them back in, expanded the green perimeters out to the edges of where they were originally. So now we have a much bigger putting surface. We have some more short grass, makes it more playable for the average player, and it gives more options for all golfers of all levels.
DeVries took a look at the golf hole, added a few of his twists, and brought it back close to what Willie Park did back a century ago.
Well, nothing's exact, and we don't have the original plans. There was a fire back in the 50s at the club here, so they were probably lost in that. But the thing that's great here is that in the ground hasn't changed. Someone hasn't come in and bulldozed a section of the green or anything. So we're able to follow that and restore and resurrect what those original margins were just by doing that.
For Mike DeVries, he's a hands-on golf architect. He doesn't put his work on other people. Instead, he gets out, he moves dirt himself, everything from the final touches, the small little things in between, and turns it into a finished product that people truly enjoy.
Watching Mike do the work, he was on a bulldozer in those bunkers, sculpting them, shaping them. So he's definitely hands-on. He gets his hands dirty, and it's the type of architect you want putting together the restoration of this golf course. And he's such a historian of the game of golf and Willie Park Jr., so we're very lucky and honored to have him here doing our golf course.
What takes a course from the original design to today? Is it just even one groundskeeper missed doing things over time, or is there natural evolution? What happens when it goes off the mark over the
Combination of all those factors. So a big factor for an old club like this that's 80 or 100 years old is you have the Depression and World War II. You have 15 years where there's no money, there's a lack of maintenance, maybe no maintenance, depending on, during the war, sometimes some courses were just shuttered, and then they were brought back post World War II, and so could be a completely different staff, not knowing where the margins were, where the grass margins were, things like that, and then sometimes it's also planting of trees, renovation, adding features or things that people thought were done maybe in the correct manner, but maybe sometimes done with good intentions, but not necessarily in the right spot. So we try and fix those types of things.
Scott Brodebeck said bringing back this 8th hole has made all the difference in the membership and their attitude about playing this hole.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's got some character. It's got so many more shots, putts, and I really enjoy playing it. He did a great job.
Yeah, it's got a lot more character. The back bunkers are completely changed the hole. And we played with the wooden shafted clubs today, and I'm going to play a wooden shafted club from now on that hole.
For Michigan Golf Scene, this is Roy J. Akers reporting. Which 3 holes will decide the Michigan PGA Championship? Scott Brodebeck will be back. He's going to tell us about the 3 holes he believes that'll test players' mettle and will determine the champion of this tournament.
This is for every girl who's ever been laughed at or told she doesn't belong.
This is for every girl who's been told she's too loud, too quiet, too this or too that.
This is for every girl who thinks her body isn't good enough.
This is for every girl who feels she doesn't fit in.
This is for every girl who's been told that success and kindness are 2 different things.
This is for every girl who's been told to give up.
This is us crushing it for you, so you can crush it for the next girl.
We're going to take you to Boyne Mountain right now as we are going to have the defending champion from 2018. Alex Scott is going to tell us about the 3 holes that will decide the Tournament of Champions.
Number 5 at the Alpine, 530 yards, straight uphill, probably plays more like 560. It seems like it's a very simple hole to be able to hit out in the fairway, and you'd think you'd have a short club in or a shorter club in, but it is. It doesn't play quite as short as it seems, and it's kind of a difficult shot hitting up into the green. You can kind of run it up, but it is also it's a blind shot up into the green. So if you get it kind of rolling one way, it can kind of come off the front. You can roll it off the back and have a difficult up and down. As far as off the tee, you got to be a little bit straight. There's some heather on the right that you can kind of creep into, and there's a tree on the left that you might be able to get stuck behind and might interfere with your swing. So being able to have a good tee shot in the fairway, and then just committing to your shot up the hill and trying to hit a good shot and have a putt for eagle or get an easy birdie.
What's the green like?
The green's it's a fairly large green, but it slopes back to front and right to left. You generally want to be short and left of the hole if you can, which can be very difficult. Normally on the last day, they kind of tuck it over on the left side. So you definitely got to be careful in reading that green where the slopes are, and you don't want to be above it. Yeah, number 12 at the Alpine, 517 yards, dogleg left. Tee shot's a little bit downhill, and for some of the bigger hitters, you're able to kind of cut off a little bit more distance going over the trees on the left. So it is, it's a little bit of a risk reward. If you try to go over the trees and maybe you pull it a little bit, you could be caught up in the trees on the left, and you could be kicking yourself, not being able to get to the green in 2. Probably gonna have to wedge out and try to hit a wedge close and be able to make birdie that way. But if you're able to put it in the fairway, most people have an iron into the green, into a raised green. Got to avoid the 2 fairway bunkers there, and then try to roll in your putt. It's green slope back to front as well. It's a fairly large green. I remember they had kind of a front right pin that can be pretty difficult to get to with a long iron in. So some guys will look to try to take advantage with their length and cut over the trees and have a shorter shot in. So 18th hole at the Alpine course, it's an awesome ending hole, par 5, a little bit risk reward in it. Tee shot's a little bit downhill. you got to hit the fairway if you want to go for it in 2 though. Last year when I played, I kind of always had between 230 and 245 depending on the angle that I landed in the fairway and how well I hit it. Pond right in front of the green that you got to be able to clear. Especially on the last day, they tucked it right in the front, and all forced carry. And you can't really stay short of the hole. So difficult shot in, and usually you kind of have a long club unless you're a really long hitter. You might be able to get an iron in, but I had a 5-wood into it last year, and around the green it's not too tricky. It's kind of all sloping towards the front. Don't really want to short side yourself, but for me last year I was fortunate to be able to. I actually hit a bad second shot in. I kind of missed, went a little wayward to the right, but I was able to hit a nice flop shot down to about 8-10 feet and be able to pour that in to force the playoff. So.
We take you out to Indianwood Country Club and we catch up with some of the top junior golfers in the state with the Top 50 Junior Golf Scholarship Tour. Dan Thomas and company have had an outstanding summer, and we're going to have some of the best players out there. They're going to tell you about how they did out of Indianwood and what their golf season looks like this fall. Now, does this help you to prepare for a high school season, playing all summer?
Yeah, because it gets you back into competition instead of just playing by yourself. It's much different.
Tough green.
Yeah, I was like a couple strokes back from Brendan all day long, and then I thought I was going to get a 2-shot swing there when I can, and then he drained a 15-footer on me to kind of put it away. So, but it was still a sweet putt.
What was the key to your rounds out
today? My driver, when it worked, it went really well, But otherwise, it was just getting it close to the pin and making the putt.
I was keeping it pretty straight. I didn't lose any balls, so I kept it pretty straight, and I got some putts to fall. So I'll probably be practicing with the girls and playing all fall. And then in the wintertime, same thing. Try to practice every day. So the spring season will be really good.
What was the key to your rounds?
Getting my drive in the fairway and hitting the greens definitely helped. But yeah, if I
You hit it and Heather basically won there?
Yeah, it kind of made it more difficult.
Why do you come all the way up here from Grosse Pointe?
Well, there aren't many courses around us. There's only 2, and one of them is a private. And I also just love Top 50 way too much.
Well, why do you like the Top 50 Junior Scholarship Tour?
It's just really friendly, and everyone gets to know each other very well, and everyone that helps is just so nice and very friendly.
I think putting was pretty important today. I was draining a couple of a lot of 10-footers, 12-footers, so that really helped.
Player of the year, obviously it's your first time. How many times have you won on the Top 50?
All the years, it was probably 10, I think. Yeah.
You won 10 times? What was the key to your tournament at Indianwood?
Well, I didn't really play good, but it was mostly my short game that was good.
Well, anyway, getting back, what was the key to your tournament this year?
Probably my short game, mostly my putting, and another key is probably hitting it straight. You don't really want to be off into the heather or the rough.
And what was the key to your tournament?
Mostly my short game and also my driver hitting the ball straight.
Yeah, you hit it in the rough here. You pretty much counted as a lost ball, don't you?
Yeah, but my chipping was pretty good today.
Price, service, selection, and customer satisfaction?
That's the Gowling difference. Only at Gowling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Your Ram store.
During the spring sales event, lease a 2018 Ram 1500 Bighorn Quad Cab 4x4 starting at $199 a month employee, $259 friends and family. Or during the Ram Truck Month, lease a 2018 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4, just $239 employee, $289 friends and family. Get to Gowling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on Telegraph, north of Square Lake, just west of I-75 at exit 75.
So the 8th hole here is our second par 3 on the opening 9, and it plays anywhere from 165 now to almost 203 yards. So there's almost a 40-yard difference from front to back, and the green complex is very big. It's a very, very flat green, but the 2 bunkers, the one on the left, that front left bunker is actually about 20 yards short of the green, and it kind of frames the golf hole. This is a hole that you definitely want to aim for the middle of the green. So here we are, we're standing on the expansion portion of the 8th green. It's finger back here. It's about, like I said, we've added about 25 feet of green and 2 bunkers. So this is your back left bunker. It used to be a pot bunker, so it was just grass. And DeVries came in and said this was Willie Park's original bunker. And so he came in and he reshaped it, and we added that bunker there. And then as we walk over here, he also added a back right bunker, which was the same thing. So it was also a pot bunker, and added that in. That was an original Willie Park Jr. bunker there, so we brought it in and then extended this green we're standing on right now about 25 feet, which makes this hole almost 40 yards from front to back. And so with the wind that kind of blows on this green, this is going to be a very difficult golf hole, which we turned a benign hole into a much more challenging hole. So we're standing here in the middle of the fairway on the 320-yard par 4 third hole. It's one of my favorite golf holes on this golf course. It's a risk-reward hole because there's opportunities to drive this green from the tee, but it's guarded by 4 bunkers up there. When we get to the green area, you'll see that. So the landing area for the big hitters is very small, but the layup is not as easy as it looks, because as you get into about 100 and 110 yards from this pin, the green, you've got about a 20-yard wide area to land the ball on your layup to get a good wedge shot into this hole.
And with that, and if you do anything to the right or the left, you basically have turned this into a par score if you're lucky.
Well, that's the uniqueness about this short risk-reward par 4. I've seen guys make 2s, and I've seen guys make 6s. I've seen everybody come through here when we have the PGA Championship in August, that guys will try to drive this green and hit in those front bunkers and think it's going to be an easy up and down, and they walk off with 5. Okay, so we're up here on the green on this par 4, the 320-yard third hole here at Flint Golf Club. And as you can see, when you get up here, those guys trying to drive the green, the landing area is very, very small. We've got bunkers on both sides of this green and 2 fairway bunkers that are about 40 yards short of the green. Now, one thing that Mike DeVries has done, that he's come in here and done, we've expanded some of these green complexes because they're so large that we haven't been utilizing them over the years. And this was the original design for Willie Park. So you can see how much we brought this green out here. So it gives you like a false front, if you will. And we've also added some runoff areas just over the back of this green. So it kind of challenges you when you're hitting a wedge shot in here or a short pitch shot to try to get this ball close to the hole to make birdie. So we're on our signature hole at Flint Golf Club, the Willie Park Jr. design. It's the 402-yard par 4 14th. Now, it plays 402 yards on the card, but this golf hole plays much longer because there's a creek that runs right along the middle of that fairway. So from this tee box, you have to lay up to you're going to have about 170 to 180 yards into this green to an elevated green protected by 2 bunkers on the right and left. In the Michigan PGA, this plays the hardest hole on the golf course. It's a very tight driving area, and you've got to be very accurate with getting this ball in the fairway is a must off the tee.
Jennifer Kupcho is one of the top amateur players in the country. She's now turned professional. She gets all kinds of sponsors' invites and exemptions and a whole lot more. And now we talk to her. With me is Jennifer Kupcho. You have just turned pro recently, but really you've been a pro for a long time, at least a pro in training, with Wake Forest. What was it about playing at Wake Forest, a real haven to pave the way for both the men's and the women's tour that helped get you to where you're at right now?
I think playing at Wake Forest, it was a really great environment, great practice facility, great campus, and I think it really just set up great for what I really wanted. I went to a small high school, so that was great. I mean, just everything was such a good experience, and it really helped me further my game.
Now, taking a look, you were number one for 34 weeks starting last summer, going into this. I think was that one of the nails that kind of let you know that the tour was definitely a destination spot for you?
I think I knew it before that. I think getting into college and playing as well as I did my first couple of years, I realized that I could get out there and play. So I think it was just furthering my game to the level it needed to be at.
Now, the team golf format, is this kind of helping you to get acclimated to all the women on tour? Or do you feel like you already know them pretty well?
I think starting out these first 4 weeks, it's been great and everyone's been really inclusive. So I think honestly just playing with them, playing alongside them in these tournaments as well as the team event, I think it all comes together.
Final question, taking a look at Augusta, you know, the ladies weren't there for a long time. They've now busted through. Do you feel like that having that top amateur tournament is just another great step for the young ladies that are tremendous players and deserve to play at all the cathedrals of golf?
I think, yeah, it's a good tournament and it's very well run and it definitely attracted a lot of attention, and I think as good as amateur women's golf is, I think it was a really great event for that, and that's as much as it can be, but I think it definitely shows how good women's golf is and the kind of people we're going to have out on tour in a couple of years.
And of course, now your name is the very first one inscribed on that trophy, and congratulations and good luck in this tournament.
Thank you.
The 2019 Tournament of Champions at Boyne Mountain Resort has combined champions from recognized Michigan PGA and amateur events, and the 2019 edition has a stellar ending. But it has come down to two-time champion Barrett Kelpin, 15-time major champion Jeff Roth, and 16-time major champion Scott Hebert. To number 5. This uphill par 5 is tree-lined and demands a solid tee shot. Entering the day, tied with Roth, he hopes to add to his third major. For Kelpin, he drives it into the left side trees and is in the deep rough. His second shot is advanced behind a tree. This outstanding shot puts him on the back of the green where he one-putts for par and keeps a short lead. Roth was also outstanding. A beauty of a second shot puts him just feet from the hole and he rolls in a point-blank birdie. On the par 3 11th, a downhill hole and tucked in behind a bunker along with a severely sloping left to right green has thwarted golfers all tournament long, and the final day did not disappoint. Kurt Valley's par stopped the bleeding in a 5 over 77. One of only 2 women in the tournament, Susie Green Roebuck, is a former LPGA player with plenty of game and multiple women's Michigan PGA Tour wins. Her superb tee shot and ensuing putt gives her a par, but she cannot close with the big boys. To 12. The long, severe dogleg left requires golfers to put their solid drives in the fairway and is reachable for longer players. Barrett Kelpin's drive was solid and he hit the green in 2, as was Scott Hebert. Jeff Roth was just short in the sand with a terrible lie. He advances his shot, but birdies from Hebert and Kelpin put pressure on Roth and narrow his lead. A final look at 11. Top amateur Henry Doe put the stripe to his tee shot. Doe's laser gave him a par. Doe went 3 over on the final 9 and his chances were gone. He still finishes as the tournament's low amateur score. It comes down to 18. A deceptively wide fairway has trees to the left and right, and errant tee shots will come into play. With Scott Hebert not able to get the putter going, his 2 bogeys and a double saw him fade to a final round 71. For Barrett Kelpin, his 3 birdies on the back 9 put him only 1 down behind Jeff Roth. His tee shot is straight down the middle, and while Jeff Roth goes directly behind a tree. His punch-out was solid, but now Kelpin takes the fescues out of play to the back of the green with this long wood shot. With Roth seeing his 1-shot lead slipping away, he hits his wedge to 4 feet. Kelpin's turn. His putt is a work of art, just feet from the hole. Roth needs to make his putt to seal the deal. He does, and he wins his 6th green jacket. His win ties him with Hebert for the 2nd most in Michigan history. An emotional Roth explains what this title means to him.
It's an emotional victory because have such a history here at Boyne, and with my family, and my wife stuck around today. She's on her way home to New Mexico to start teaching for the school year, so she was nice enough to stick around and cheer me on along with my grandson. So big emotional victory today to get number 16 for sure.
The young players all have the length and skill, but both Hebert and Roth look to be a force in Michigan golf for a long time.
I feel honored to be tied with Mr. Roth here with what is it, 17?
16.
16?
16 we got.
Yeah, we got a couple more chances, him and I. We got match play and what? PGA, right?
PGA, yeah.
For Michigan Golf Scene, this is Roy J. Akers reporting.
This is for every girl who's ever been laughed at or told she doesn't belong.
This is for every girl who's been told she's too loud, too quiet, too this or too that.
This is for every girl who thinks her body isn't good enough.
This is for every girl who feels she doesn't fit in.
This is for every girl who's been told that success and kindness are two different things.
This is for every girl who's been told to give up.
This is us crushing it for you, so you can crush it for the next girl.
OGO bags are all the rage. You may not even know you have one in your cart. I didn't know it. I thought it was something else. It was an OGO bag as put out there by Callaway. And with that, Brian Mimbiol is going to tell us more about some of the features and benefits of owning one of these bags. Me is Brian Mimbiol, and one of the lines that you're representing is the OGO golf bags. And tell us a little bit about this product.
OGO is a great addition to the Callaway family. We purchased just about 2 years ago. It's a dominant luggage company that happens to make high quality golf bags as well. They're dominant in luggage and backpacks, etc. But they've brought a lot of that ideal and that technology into the golf bag world. So if you're looking for something that is not manufacturer aligned with Callaway or some of the other big companies, this is a standalone company in terms of its ideals, with giving you the best possible cart bags and the lightest weight stand bags in the industry.
Now, taking a look at this product, one of the crazy things about it, I wouldn't say crazy in a good way really, is that the material that it's made out of is not leather or a synthetic leather. Tell us a little bit more about that component.
Well, this is Cordura nylon to the nth degree. So for those who have legitimate concerns about sustainability and keeping the planet green, this material is basically created from the recycling of plastic water bottles, which we all know are plentiful and cause us issues. But the ability to take what is something that's clearly disposable, have it reworked and done in a fiber that allows for Cordura is completely fade proof, it's ultralight, it's remarkably durable, it has no ability to tear. So you've got something that creates something that has very light in weight but has remarkable durability. So some of the beauties of previous materials was they were very durable, but they made the bag very heavy. As you can see in terms of weight, this bag is ultra light, yet it's got compartments all over the bag. So think of it, virtually, Roy, as a high piece of luggage that also happens to carry golf clubs very efficiently and effectively in its design.
Now, taking a look at this product, I'm one of those, I'm kind of like Indiana Jones. I got like several pockets on my golf bag. What are some of the things that are similar and better, or some things that are new that were thought of by the OGO people?
A couple of things that come in place where as your bag goes in and against your cart, you've got complete accessibility to all the pockets in and around the golf bag. So everything is accessible to you on the cart. Cooler pockets, pocket for your traveling beverage, accessibility for ease of getting for your range finder. All these things are easily accessed, and all the pockets face to the back of the cart. So you have got no issues in terms of the ability to get to those. One of the additions that comes here is this is a detachable item. So for your phone, for your keys, your cash and your license, this detaches off this part of the bag, so you can, as you put your bag into your cart and you go into the locker room or go to have lunch, all your essentials are in here, and that's a part of this design. So that is removable it's something that also works through with the luggage and the backpacks that are made by Ogio. This can be used in concert with those other items as well. Now, while this is a pretty vibrant color in orange, which is part of Ogio's history, is to give you something that's dramatically brighter and different in colors, there's a whole series of colors that come with this Ogio Alpha Convoy bag. So it's something that for the guy who is interested in a cart bag, having the greatest amount of ability to load it up, make it purposeful, this is the best in the industry.
And then you also make this as a, I guess you call it a walking bag, so if you're carrying or you're putting it into a golf cart, it looks like you've got it all covered. Now, you know, one of the things I like that you said about this particular golf bag is that when you're on a golf cart, quite often you can't get to certain parts of your golf bag unless you turn it around, and then your golf bag's lagging, tilting, sagging, it's doing all kinds of craziness. So I think that is a very functional thing that some golfers are really going to like.
Yeah, there's very much an industrial nature to the design. How functional can it be? How useful are the pockets? You know, what is your ability to access stuff? And knowing that every place in the bag, there's something that it's designed to hold for you to utilize as you are out on the golf course.
Well, we appreciate you demoing the golf bags for you. A couple things. What are the price points on the bags?
You'll see both of these are this is a $299 bag, this is a $249 bag. So the lightest carry bag in the industry, a self-adjusting strap, so based on your shoulder width and how you like to carry the bag, so it will automatically level on your back, which is some of the technology that they've used in terms with backpacks. So again, think of it as a functional piece of luggage that happens to carry golf equipment.
And where can you buy these golf bags at?
Virtually every top retail place. Carl's Golfland stocks the bag in every color, and your best pro shops will also carry these as well.
Thank you very much, Brian.
Thank you.
Well, that will wrap up this edition of Michigan Golf Scene. If you want to know more about what's going on in the state of golf, we have the most wanted interviews and stories going out there as we cover everything from high school golf, juniors, college, also the Michigan PGA, adult professionals, PGA Tour, LPGA, and a whole lot more. Plus, we drone courses. Please, if you want to check us out, go to www.midwestsportscene.com, go to the Michigan Golf Scene page, and you're in. Like us on Facebook as well, as we'd love to hear from you. Well, once again, for Michigan Golf Scene, this is Roy J. Akers reporting.